The Astounding Broccoli Boy by Frank Cottrell Boyce. Introducing the incredible Koko Kwon. Every good superhero team needs a mixture of talents. For instance, the Fantastic Four. One genius scientist, Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards. One invisible person, Susan Storm, aka Invisible Woman. A strong one, The Thing, aka Ben Grimm. And a flying one, Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. We had one super strong kickboxing door opener, Tommy Lee, one who could slightly teleport and had a 200% brain, me, and now one girl whose super ability was, well, we were about to find out. Her name was Koko Kwon. When she saw that we were green, she was really pleased. She thought she was the only person on Earth that was green, doomed to wander the streets forever with her head in a paper bag. "Thanks for rescuing me from a violent mob," she said. "Also from London, which is also overrun with wild animals. There were wolves in the Natural History Museum gift shop." I was worried that Tommy Lee might admit that this was slightly our fault, but he was just too excited. "Wow," he gasped. "Did they do proper howling, like—" He put his head right back and howled like a wolf. "Ow! Ow!" Somewhere far away in the streets below, something howled back. "Ow! Ow!" We all shuddered. There were goose pimples all the way up my arms. Tommy Lee nearly dropped the blue plastic bin he was carrying. "Why are you carrying a blue plastic bin?" I asked. "Just thought it would be nice to have a bin. More homely." We took Koko up to the fish tank. "Welcome," we whispered, "to our secret headquarters." We were using the phone we got during our bank raid as a light. "This," she said, "is a hospital ward. In fact, it's an isolation unit." She was good at spotting detail. "Our headquarters is disguised as an isolation unit," said Tommy Lee. We told her all about sneaking out at night and righting wrongs and fighting injustice. We asked her if she'd like to join. We thought she'd be pleased about that. But she's not an easy person to please. "Why are you in an isolation unit?" she said. "Because they think we're contagious." "So," she folded her arms like an angry maths teacher, "even though you're contagious, you sneak out and contage people. So it's all your fault when other people turn green. It's your fault I look like a plate of spinach." Broccoli. The medical term is broccoli. First you contage me, and then you kidnap me, and now you're going to try and lock me up in an isolation unit? I'm calling the police." Before we could stop her, she'd swiped Tommy Lee's stolen phone off the bedside table. "No, wait, we're not contagious. We're not even sick." "Of course you're sick. You're bright green." "We're not sick. We're astounding. Ever since we turned green, we've been doing astounding things. Maybe you can do astounding things too." "Okay," said Koko. "Astound me." We jumped off the roof and didn't get hurt," said Tommy Lee. "My brain has had some kind of upgrade. It's sort of a 200% brain. Also, I slightly teleported." "That's how come we rescued you from a bad crowd and howling wolves. We're like the Fantastic Four," Tommy Lee said. "Except there's only 2 of us. 3 counting you." "This is a game, right?" "No, we really, really have become astounding, honestly." Before she could reply, the room was filled with a thrashing, scrabbling sound, like someone trying to stab their way out from inside a drum. Koko dropped the phone. The room went dark. The noise, a wet, slapping noise, got louder. Something sharp poked my leg. "Wolves," said Koko. "Stand together." Somehow she found the phone and shone it towards the floor. A tiny wet creature with a sharp yellow dagger where its nose should have been was crawling out of the bin. "An alien?" I gasped. "That's not an alien," snapped Koko. "That's a penguin." "Yeah, sorry about this," said Tommy Lee. He tried to scoop the penguin back into the bin, but it slashed at him with its beak. And then, penguined off towards the toilet. "Tommy Lee, why have you brought a penguin in?" "He was by the bins, all alone. I couldn't leave him there. He looked cold." "He looked cold? He's a penguin. He doesn't mind being cold." "You said we were supposed to be doing good. Well, we did good. We rescued a girl. And a penguin. He went after it again, but it slid under the bed. Koko Kwok got to her feet. Join hands, she said. Why? It's usually best to do as I say first and ask questions later. We all held hands in a circle. She kicked the bed. The penguin came scuttling out into the middle of the circle. Close up, said Koko. We all stepped towards each other, and the penguin was trapped, like in a game of farmers in his den. Okay, shuffle. We shuffled into the bathroom. The penguin had to shuffle with us. Koko turned on the taps in the sink. As soon as it heard the water, the penguin calmed down, put his head under his wing, and went to sleep. It didn't exactly snore, but its lungs made a kind of creaking noise. Good night, Peter, whispered Tommy Lee. How do you know it's a boy? I asked. Because his name's Peter and it's a boy's name. But how do you know his name's Peter? He just looks like a Peter. So, said Koko, looking us up and down, you're superheroes. Superheroes who are outmaneuvered by a panicking penguin. We've done other stuff, sulked Tommy Lee. Such as? We did a bank robbery. She looked impressed. How much did you get? 30 quid and a phone. Now she was unimpressed. What else? We foiled another robbery. Men in masks and everything. What were they trying to rob? Bins. You saved some bins. Probably there were secret papers or something in the bins. So you've got a 200% brain and you can teleport, and all you've done is nick one penguin and a mobile phone and just enough cash for one ticket to Alton Towers. That's when Tommy Lee blurted out, It was us that let the animals out. She stared at us. You did what? That was us. Well, it was Tommy Lee. He let the animals out. She looked at Tommy Lee. You let the wolves out of the zoo? And the gorillas. Why would you let gorillas out of a zoo? They look so sad in those little houses. And the hippos? Just because they're big and ugly. Is that any reason to lock them up? Lions? Once I figured out how easy the locks were, I got a bit cheerful about it. Reindeer? I didn't even know reindeer were real till Rory told me. I just wanted to see them up close. It's rubbish about them flying out, by the way. Even when they see lions, they don't fly. Fruit bats? Really big, like big flappy umbrellas? That's them. Oh, I thought they were vampire bats. You thought they were vampires and you still let them out? Everything else was getting out. It didn't seem fair to leave them locked in. They can't half go fast. Most things go fast when there's a lion about. I pointed out that lions are nowhere near as dangerous as people think. Statistically, lions are a lot less dangerous than wasps. You reduced the entire city of London to a state of terror. Sorry about that. That, said Koko, shining the phone in our faces, is impressive. Then she told us the story of how she turned green. Her school had taken all the clever kids in her year, she was the cleverest, to a special sleepover in the Natural History Museum, as a reward for being clever. We slept in sleeping bags under the dinosaur skeletons. It was educational, but also quite cosy. Next morning we were supposed to leave before the museum opened, but no one came to let us out. The teachers were worried that no one would ever let us out. Someone said, maybe everyone was dead because of killer kittens, and we're the only survivors, like in that film. I could hear howling from the gift shop. I said I thought there were wolves in the gift shop. Everyone said, you're just trying to scare us. I tried to explain that wolves are not actually that scary if you just stay calm. The teachers went ahead, and what was in the gift shop? 3 big howling timber wolves. So I was right, even though everyone laughed at me. Tommy Lee tutted, I hate when that happens. So everyone was terrified, even the teachers, especially the teachers in fact. So I took charge. Why is it always me who has to take charge? I led the way back to the big gallery, the one with the life-size blue whale hanging from the ceiling, because that's got a door that you can lock. The teachers were trying to ring the emergency number, but no one was answering. They were pretty convinced by now that the population of London had been wiped out by kittens, and the city had been taken over by wild animals. I got up to say everyone should stay calm, but everyone started laughing at me. Why? Growled Tommy Lee. Why do people laugh like that? Because she turned green, I said. Well, I didn't know I turned green. Someone took a photo of me with their phone and showed me. I was so shocked I just ran off. I ran out through the gift shop. I didn't care if I did get eaten by wolves. The wolves were still in the shop, but they seemed to be eating something. Maybe the souvenir flapjacks, or maybe a shop assistant. I took a very nice paper bag and put it over my head and went outside. I ran as far as I could. I had to lift the bag to see where I was going. It was fine at first because the streets were deserted. The museum is in one of the exclusion zones. The what? Wherever there's been an outbreak of killer kittens, they move everyone out and close the place down. They're trying to stop it spreading, otherwise there won't be any Christmas. They're going to cancel Christmas? Wailed Tommy Lee. Well, they're worried that if too many people catch it, there won't be enough people left to drive the trucks or work in the shops. No shops, no turkey, no crackers, no fun. That's terrible, I said. That means my mum was actually right. All those tins of Spam and piles of toilet roll. They really were going to be lifesavers. Anyway, eventually I got across Green Park and down Pall Mall. I just crossed Trafalgar Square when someone spotted I was green. Everyone crowded around me. And then we rescued you. Yes, thanks for that. Maybe you are a bit super after all. What are your names again? We told her. She noticed that my first name and second name both began with the same letter, just like hers. Not to mention Peter the Penguins, I pointed out. And who else has names that sound like that? Other astounding people. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Bruce Banner, the Hulk, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Clark Kent, Superman. And me, said Tommy Lee. We both looked at Tommy Lee. I explained that Tommy Lee does not start with the same letter as Comiskey. My real first name, he said, is Carol. Carol? In Poland, it's a boy's name. Here, it's a girl's name. I had to change it because it was getting me involved in so many fights. I had to use my kickboxing skills because my hands were getting tired from doing so much punching. Carol Comiskey. That's my real name. Carol? I'd only just got used to calling him Tommy Lee. Carol, I blurted. He stared at me like he was daring me to say something bad about it. I said, Carol Comiskey sounds really superhero. 3 of us with superhero names is too much of a coincidence. We were definitely meant to meet. We are the League of Green Knights. Or the Green Knight League, or Corporation, or something. I am Carol, said Carol. Just don't call me that. Okay. Can I just ask, how are you going to explain me, said Koko. I looked at Tommy Lee. He looked at me. We both looked at the penguin. If you're not supposed to leave the ward, it's going to be very hard explaining a stray penguin. It's going to be a lot harder explaining a kidnapped girl. We didn't kidnap you. We rescued you. Besides, I said, we can explain it easy. We'll say you were admitted during the night. Oh, really? Where's my bed then? A bed? When people are admitted to hospital, they normally get a bed. There was one in the next fish tank, the one that Tommy Lee had disconnected from the wall. We tried wheeling it through, but one of the wheels squeaked so loud we were scared it would squeak Nurse Rock awake. Stop, said Koko. She went to the antibacterial hand gel dispenser on the wall and squirted a load of gel into her hand and rubbed it on the axle. Now try. The bed rolled silently into our fish tank. Easy. Now all I need, said Koko, is pyjamas, a bedside table, a reading lamp, some medical notes, and some of those curtains on wheels things so I can get some privacy. The list went on. We raided the cupboard for the pyjamas. There was a spare bedside unit in the corridor. Couldn't find a bedside lamp, so she took mine. She pulled the curtains around her bed. This superhero thing, I'm beginning to like the idea. I always did feel a bit special. Good, I said. And we like the idea of a girl in the gang. The Fantastic Four had a girl. And there's loads of girls in the X-Men. Can I just ask, what have you actually done about this? I mean, do you have costumes, a badge? How did the police contact you? The police? Tommy Lee asked. There's something terrible that's happening. How did the police get hold of you? Like Batman has the bat phone. I hadn't really thought about it, I said. Okay, well, we'll sort all those things out tomorrow. I'm starving. What's the food like here? Terrible, Tommy Lee said. Something called quinoa. I'll do something about that too, Carol. Turn the light out and let's get some sleep. I was going to explain that Tommy Lee wouldn't let us turn the light out, but Tommy Lee did turn the light off right away. And then he whispered to me, Tell her not to call me Carol. Tell her yourself. Or she might tell me off. It seemed that we had a new leader.